Howard the Duck.
Duck.
We fast forward to 1986, and I said, "Oh,
I do
we
believe
have
that
to do this
Lady
again."
Mist brought this up at the very, very beginning of the chat. Yes.
The first Marvel big budget movie in a theater that you could see was Howard the Duck. Thank you, George Lucas.
Yep.
You couldn't go out and buy the rights to the Hulk or Iron Man or something else. I mean, with the Industrial Light
I
and Magic,
freaking love this movie. This
oh,
was,
please.
I was in high school when this came out. I had a dim awareness of Howard the Duck because I saw him on, adverts in the Marvel comics that I did read. I only really read Spider-Man comics. So I didn't really know much about Howard the Duck other than he was a character in Marvel. I knew he smoked cigars, which didn't really come up in this movie. But I was in high school at the time, and this movie also co-starred Leah Thompson. Yeah. You better believe this was probably one of my favorite movies of the year just because of her. It had nothing to do with the
I'll
damn
find
duck.
her name. I used to know her name. This is what happens when you get older. You just forget things. You forget names.
You're such a boomer.
That, or it could just be that you don't think of things. Leah Thompson. You never think of things on the fly. Yeah. Okay, Leah Thompson. But there she is. Lovely as this punk rocker lady. Remember that? Huh?
Yep. Yeah. She was in a band or whatever, and Howard the Duck, kind of inspired her on one of her songs, then became her manager. And
remember, he wanted to be in music management and when he was on the Duck Planet before he got trained. You guys are probably, what are we talking about? What is this movie about? It's about a duck planet where everything like on our Earth is in the
so
ducks on
Howard the Duck, of course. He's in an apartment. All the world is populated by anthropomorphic ducks.
Yep.
Right? He's in his apartment. He pulls out a magazine. It's Play Duck. It's got
there's like a Raiders
centerfold with a, unclothed duck woman with breasts.
And you can even see like different ethnicities are represented because there's a duck with black feathers, which I guess was supposed to be.
That's right.
Just, really?
At one point, he crashes through somebody else's apartment, and there's this duck chick. I mean, there was a lot of duck nudity in this movie.
There are duck boobs, and I guess that wasn't enough to get an R rating because it's like it's a
because they were ducks. Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at that, and I'm like, it wasn't doing anything for me, but I'm not judging. I guess.
And although Leah Thompson, was fully clothed, he was just barely fully clothed. Let me just say.
There's a lot of stuff in this movie. Like he's working at a hot
We talked about Howard the Duck on a previous Geeky Geezers.
Yes, we did.
You did a clip of that and the
feathers on his head. I couldn't find the pic like you had.
The picture I used made that one of the most watched videos of my.
This is your opportunity to do your own version of that for your channel now. If you want.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh man, this is just. I would argue, and it was upon rewatch this I realized something. There's half a good movie here. That's what kills me. Like there is some good stuff. Like the animatronics. I'll say this for the duck costume, state of the art. I mean. Really
absolutely
good. Up there with the Ninja Turtles.
Kevin brings up Man Thing. Did they do a movie of Man Thing too?
No, they did a Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I know Swamp Thing actually had a couple movies.
Who knows? Maybe they did a Man Thing. Marvel was all over the place back then, but a lot of the movies didn't get high budgets. You had these terrifying.
Yeah, but we're both drunk. If we were to throw anything at each other, we'd both miss.
Anyway. But there's Howard the Duck. There was we get to see a little bit more of her.
There you go. That's not the exact one, but it's that same scene.
Oh man, his feathers start.
Wow, wow, you got a perfect freeze frame here, dude. I did not even know this scene was. Oh my god,
this movie is billed as a family feature. There's some inappropriate stuff in here. There's a scene with him.
It's more inappropriate than you realize.
Yes.
The person playing that duck is a child.
Oh no.
she felt very uncomfortable doing these scenes, not because of
Oh,
her state of dress, but because she was doing a love scene with a
oh
child.
no. This reminds me, I've told you how I love those Italian giallo movies, and
Yeah,
not coincidentally, maybe coincidentally, the title of this movie was called "Don't Torture a Duckling." But there's a scene where there's a naked sunbathing Barbara Boucher, and this young boy goes up to bring her, I guess, some orange tea, and
yeah.
like the Italian government, when they found out this movie, they got mad. They were like, "You had a kid in front of that naked woman?" No, no, from the back. When we were shooting from the back, it was a dwarf. And they had to prove that yes, we had a dwarf on set pretending to be the kid in those scenes where you
That's
couldn't
actually kind
see,
of funny.
and they had to explain it because even in Italy, they have standards, you know. So,
Yeah, yeah. I just,
but
but
that's
I'll
what that
tell you
reminded me
what.
of.
So young freshman in high school Troy is like, yeah, as a kid, I totally would have wanted this role, please.
This is just because you have to wonder if they eventually do get into a relationship, and I don't even want to think about what happened. Would like she have twins, and one
He's
would be a
got a
duck?
little tiny duck condom in his wallet.
And she said,
I
"Oh,
kid you not.
Howard, yes." There's a
No,
scene
she
with it.
goes, "Oh, ducky.
Oh,
Oh, ducky." Yeah.
anyway, there was a scene where he's working at a hot tub place because he ends up going to the he he wants to get on the what is it? He wants to get the unemployment checks, and he's like, "No, no,
Yes.
I know what you I know punks like you. I'm gonna get you a job." And he gets a job cleaning this hot tub place, and like
Yep.
there's this he's like, "Oh, it must be mating," and you hear all this moaning in the background, and I'm like, "This is a kid's movie."
Yes, yes. This was I'm
This
glad
is-
I was in high school because uh,
oh,
yeah, the rating on this was not appropriate even for the time. The fact that I was in high school, my mom had less problem with this movie, but I really appreciate that you got this screen capture. That's good.
there was a wonderful scene where I guess he's defending her honor from, I guess, their corrupt manager that's been taking money from the band or whatever, and like
Yes.
he wants to get them to get out of their contract. I'll manage them, and he says, "I have space rabies." And then one of the doofuses, I guess, that worked for me, "Hey, I think I heard something about that on the TV." Like,
Wasn't the bad guy from this? It was the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
yeah, him. Yes,
Yeah,
that's him.
yeah, yeah.
Oh no, this is where the movie goes south for me when it starts going into the dark overlords of the Nexus of Sominus or whatever the heck it was called, and they were also brought with the second beam ray, so these
I
were
swear
evil.
George Lucas was doing acid when he came up with this.
What
I
was
mean,
he thinking? I mean, he didn't direct it. I think he had someone
well,
else direct
keep
it,
in
but yeah,
mind that again, Howard the Duck was the only thing that they got from Marvel. Everything else was just whatever they pulled out of their asses. You know.
if George Lucas had directed this, we would have gotten 15 minutes of Howard complaining about sand, about how it gets
Oh,
everywhere.
it's
I'm sorry.
Where they're Calvin Klein. Yes.
Oh, yeah, this was Howard the Duck, and I'm mixed because I know that there was a great movie in here, but it didn't
I
happen.
loved it. I still love it. In fact,
Oh
there's
no.
probably going to be a Monday night rewatch of this
Okay,
film.
well we'll see.
Almost
Maybe I'll join you.
certainly.
We'll see. Uh,
Almost certainly.
there's half a good movie if they had just kept it as the comedy,
That's half
as an
a
80s
costume,
comedy,
you know?
and not I did love the one scene though where the government's after him and he says, "What are we going to charge him with? Illegal alien." Ha ha
Uh,
ha.
there's a
Oh,
video going around right now. Leah Thompson's daughter has gotten into acting, and she's
dude, she
doing an
should be in the
interview.
Be in the Howard the Duck. They should do a Howard the Duck
She's
movie. Howard John.
talking about
Yeah.
how she became aware of her mother's acting career.
Oh
She
no.
said she was flipping through movies and she happened on Howard the Duck. And she saw this movie and she asked her mother about it. She's like, "Mom?" And mom's like, "Well, you have to understand that I was an actor and this wasn't, despite the rating on this." She's like, "Some movies are more intended for adults."
I'll tell you something,
Which,
Disney.
when you're telling a kid this, they don't process it the way you expect them to. So when she went into school and they were talking about what their parents do for a living, she said, "My mother works in adult movies."
Oh, that's the problem with that word. It has two different
Yes.
they it has two different meanings. And of course the kids took it as the other thing.
That's true. I have, since this movie came out, looked into it, and you're right. Howard the Duck, the book, is intended
Yes.
for adults. Yeah,
Hey,
it was not. Yeah.
if Disney or Marvel right now were to do Howard the Duck as just an adult comedy, and I would be completely on board with that. That would be something that would get me excited for a Marvel movie again, and maybe be truer to the comics it was based on. And I would like to check that out, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But you know, they kept teasing him in those Guardians movies.
Fitting, since the Habsburgs were the Dark Lords of Europe. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
I was disappointed when I found out that Peter Porker, the Spider Ham, was not from the Howard the Duck planet. I thought he no.
That would have made sense, right? That
No,
would have been pretty
no, he's
cool.
from another interdimensional thing. Yeah, not
Entirely,
okay, but
yes.
whatever. I thought that would have been interesting if, because what in fact was Spider Ham's villains like Doctor Octopus would have been an actual octopus in that world.
I don't know.
Like an
I knew
anthropomorphic
of those
octopus.
comics, but I didn't actually
All
read
right,
them.
I don't know.
I
That's
knew they
another
existed.
thing. Anyway, Howard the Duck, still infamous.
Let's face it,
All
this
these
was
years
a
later.
Leah Thompson venue, and Howard the Duck was a co-star in this movie, as far as I'm
Basically,
concerned.
yeah. Well, she was the star, yeah.
Oh my!
And Tim Robbins is in this. Do you remember Tim Robbins in this?
Yes, he did have a
He's the
role. Didn't
dorky
he try to help him out
scientist.
or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
and
was trying to help him get home or something like that,
remember
right?
he started speaking duck to him when he first meets him.
Oh, jeez, what are you doing?
I know,
I'm
it's
speaking
just,
duck.
I know,
Stop that.
like Howard, like Donald Duck or something, right? He was trying
Yeah.
to, like, to just no good. All right, that's Howard the Duck, people, and that's it for tonight. I'm kidding.
I
No, we
love
got
it.
more to
I
do.
love it.